Hey, what's up, you guys? Oberyn Moonie here, coming to you guys with tonight's recap for Oathbreaker episode 3 in season 6. Um, Holy crap! I mean, there's just so much to talk about, you guys. I'm really gonna try to consolidate it. This is gonna be kind of a short video. I'm not gonna be very like hyper. I'm actually suffering from some food poisoning right now. It really sucks. Um, but I had to make a recap for you guys on this because this is just too much to talk about, and I wanted to talk about it with you. Anyway, jumping right into it, I'm gonna do what I usually do to consolidate it. Talk about the North first, then kind of go down from there, and then talk about the other things. I'm pretty sure I just had a huge breaking theory on Arya right now. It might not be anything new, but this is something I really want to share with you guys because this is something I haven't noticed in the books. I only noticed it tonight, and I think this is something that could really change things, especially in the books. Anyway, so please watch the whole video. As usual, please like and share. The more the subscribers I get, it's just going to help you guys out. I really want to start doing pop giveaways of Game of Thrones, so I'm just letting you guys know. I'm going to be providing my page link and also my Twitter link, so please like those, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Anyway, out of the way with that, Jon Snow is back officially. Didn't know how they were gonna make him. I'm glad to see that it seems like he's back. He's not really changed at all. I mean, of course he's changed in the sense that like the Night's Watch is like he's not going to be part of the Night's Watch anymore. I mean they offed him. They straight up like they pulled a uh they pulled like a red wedding on him. You know what I mean? Like that's just terrible. Basically all the Starks have been betrayed at least once now, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's a reason, because they all need to be taught. Really, really glad that when he came back, he was kind of not like, okay, let's go take care of things. I mean, he was really traumatized, and really glad to see Davos kind of back away from Melisandre and kind of tell her to get away from Jon instead of putting all these like prophecy things in his mind. I think that Davos definitely saw what that did to Stannis. He does not trust Mel still. I think everybody was just really freaking out because they knew that Jon was a great leader and that as far as anything goes, they would definitely need him in the fight to come. I mean, he was the only one that really binded the Night's Watch or any of the North with the wildlings. That being said, I think it's interesting that he still kept his wounds. I thought it was funny that they still had Ed say, "Oh, your eyes are brown." I mean, that was I mean, that was kind of on the nose, right? You know what I mean? Like, because everybody was having these speculations about his eyes changing color when he died and stuff. And yeah, so his eyes are still brown from what at least Ed says. He still has his wounds from what we saw. They didn't miraculously heal or anything. I don't know. I don't honestly don't know how that'll affect him later on. But in the execution scene, I'm so glad. I'm sorry, but like I liked Ollie because I could understand why he was the way he was. But just seeing him there, just watching him there all just like, oh man, like finally some vengeance. You know what I mean? Like vengeance for a Stark. I honestly think that's what we're gonna see across the board here. It's just pure Stark vengeance for the next like 2 seasons, man. You'll see what I mean in a couple seconds. Um, Anyway, okay, so Jon's coming back. Really don't think that he's going to at all. He's left the Watch definitely. He's going to be more worried about the North as a whole, and he technically did fulfill his Watch vows because he stayed on until he died. Just because he was resurrected doesn't mean that he died. So I mean, technically, I just feel like if anyone's trying to say that, oh, he's an Oathbreaker or he's leaving, no, man, like he fulfilled everything. So for Castle Black, I feel like Ed is, he's going to take control, but he's going to kind of just be real with the brothers, and either they're going to be like the last stand, they are going to be kind of covering their back as people flee south from what's coming. I really think that the the White Walkers are going to be coming like basically any minute. I mean, I thought they were going to come this episode. I thought that Thorne and Ollie and Bowen Marsh and all them were going to like come back as Whites. They didn't, which is okay and that kind of stuff. The White Walkers don't need to come right now, but I just feel like they're imminent, like they are coming. The Hardhome was not that far from Castle Black, and that's what's going to be the main concern. Okay, shifting on to more what's going on in the North. I thought it was interesting that they did not show Brienne, Sansa, or Podrick, nor Theon. However, the next on we did see that they will be taking part. I don't know. I don't know if Sansa and Brienne will miss Jon, or if she might catch him before he leaves Castle Black. I just kind of wonder where Jon is going. I mean, he's going to the North, obviously. But like, is he going? He's going to the Wilding Lands. Is he going to where maybe House Thenn is now? If that is even in the show, I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe oh my goodness, Tormund. Maybe there's a House Giantsbane out there. You know what I mean? That'd be awesome, dude. That'd be fucking dope, right? A House Giantsbane. I mean, his sigil would be his member. Let's be honest. It'd be a member with flaming red hair. Anyway, going to Winterfell. Winterfell. So a lot of things are going on. The Black Wolf, as I've always called Rickon, I actually have a fan fiction about called a Black Wolf chapter talking about his return. Basically, I know that things look dire for them, uh, but at the same point in time, you have to look at these things. Right now, Rickon has infiltrated Winterfell with presumably a whole bunch of Umber men, because Umber came to uh, swear his allegiance to Bolton. However, Rickon is much more savage than all the Starks. He would be much more daring. He would do things in a much different way. This is his kind of way. Also notice that Umber never, I mean, he gave a good cause for it, but he never knelt. He never said any of the words. So if he does betray Ramsay and the Boltons, then he will not be an Oathbreaker. And we know that the North really takes that kind of stuff seriously. So, that being said, also for the Starks, though, I mean, I know that, I mean, I'm just saying that it's important to Umber as himself. For Rickon, though, I mean, because people could say, oh, he's going to be breaking, if he kills Ramsay, he's going to be breaking the whole idea of a host. That kind of stuff. Or, like, being respectful to your host and the guests, not hurting them. That being said, I mean, the Starks, that's out the window with the Red Wedding, because that was broken. So now it's like anyone's game. The Starks are now playing the game that everyone else is. So what I'm thinking is that definitely, I don't think that was Shaggy Dog at all. I don't think that was his head. I think Rickon and Asha would have honestly died before being captured. Or she would have killed Rickon. I mean, Asha knows what's up. Like, she knows that if he was going to get captured or something like that, then she would have just killed him, because she knows that's who he's going to be facing. Anyway, so yeah, I think that Shaggy Dog is going to come back in a really pivotal point and just rip. I mean, like, you know how Ramsay likes people being killed by being ripped to death by dogs? Irony. Shaggy Dog is going to rip Ramsay up. I'm calling it right now. I say, that's like one of my main theories. Okay. Anyway, basically, Winterfell. I think that no matter what, the battle for Winterfell, whether it's Rickon and Osha. Also, mind this: Rickon and Osha might not agree with Jon at all. You know what I mean? They might not agree. I really do think Umber was being serious about the wildlings coming down, and him just like not caring and like not wanting them there. That being said, Osha could have convinced him about the White Walkers. I mean, she could have convinced him about the White Walkers, and he knows what's up, so he knows that he needs to get the Boltons the hell out of there. Because also, the guy that's playing Umber, he's kind of a bigger actor. I want to say he's like a model or something, right? But anyway, so I think he's obviously going to be important, is what I mean. Anyway, so going on from the north, that's pretty much, I believe, settled, because they didn't do anything else. King's Landing now. Really glad that they did what they did in King's Landing. The conversation between Tommen and the High Sparrow is actually one of, I'm not sure if it's added. It feels kind of added, just because we know that we haven't seen them talk yet in the books at all. I actually like that scene. That scene made sense. That seems like something that could happen in the book, that the High Sparrow would want to start a friendship with Tommen and kind of maybe even like make him a godly king and turn him against Cersei. Because what I really don't like is they really, I feel like they really ruined Jaime in this show. I know that he's not doing anything necessarily bad, but he's too smart. Like, he knows that Cersei is mad. You know what I mean? He knows that she's crazy. And that kind of stuff. Like, and especially right now with Cersei, like the way that she even told like Qyburn. Oh, and the whole Qyburn scene was pretty awesome too, right? I mean, confirmation. It's funny that they're calling him Gregor Clegane though. So it's like no secret that he's like basically a Frankenstein monster, because we all see him got like stabbed and poisoned by Oberyn. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting to show kind of like the little birds, and kind of show that the little birds are actually like these children that can hide and just kind of be there but still be invisible. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I kind of wonder if Qyburn is going to like mutate the kids though in some sort of weird way. I just don't trust him. Like I feel like he's gonna have like a army of monsters almost by the time he gets taken down. Um, Anyway, oh god, that scene where Pycelle shit his pants was amazing. I'm sorry, that small council scene was just awesome, and I thought, and I'll kind of bring it up because I feel like these two kind of go together. I thought it was really interesting the way that they showed the small council scene in King's Landing compared to the small council scene in Meereen, where Tyrion was. You know, you have these people in Meereen who are capable, who have been through hell and that kind of stuff, and for them, they're just not about playing games. They are not about anything frivolous compared to King's Landing, to where they're all about, you know, like lords and you know, doing all this like this very you know, just a lot of pompous things around it, you know, frivolous things that are just not needed instead of getting down to the nitty gritty. Tyrion is not used to that. However, you know, Grey Worm and you know, they're just not going to have it. You know, they stuff like anyway. I just thought it was really interesting. Anyway, so yeah, sir, finally the breaking of the waves. I was waiting. I was kind of waiting to see when Kevin Lannister was gonna come into this. I'm glad to see that the Queen of Thorns is kind of taking more of a role in this. I really think that in King's Landing we're seeing a definite. We might even have a three-way battle of the Faith and the Lannisters and the Tyrells. However, I do feel like the Faith will end up either like joining one of them, because I mean the Faith right now, it's strong. In the books they really like lay it out like how strong the Faith is. They're basically going through an enlightenment period in Westeros where there's a huge resurgence in faith because of how bad it is. So that being said, this is that I mean, when enlightenment periods happen is also kind of in tandem to when like crusades happen. So that being said, the faith militant is really something that people need to take seriously in Westeros. I don't think Cersei really takes it seriously, but then again, she's never had, and she's kind of off a rocker. Same with Jaime. However, I will say though, Bronn is still nowhere to be seen. As of last season, he's not here. I mean, they haven't mentioned that he died. They haven't mentioned anything. I think that that's going to be a huge thing. I think that's going to be a huge thing. He is off doing something. Anytime someone is off screen for a long period of time, you know, you know that they're going to kind of go up. They're going to show up somewhere. Um, Kind of going back on, we know that Dorne, basically House Martell, has been overthrown. Blah blah blah. I don't really care about Dorne. Glad they didn't show it. Um, I know I already mentioned Meereen. I think Meereen is going to kind of stay the way it is. Really love that scene with Varys. That is 100% the Varys that we love, and you know, nice but still with that edge with him. I mean, you know, like, hey, you're gonna be dead, but you can save your son if you want. You know what I mean? Like that's the way to really like deal with people, and he gets that. Um, that being said, so I'm just going to go straight into the Dosh Colleen and where Daenerys is in her story. Uh, Basically, you know, kind of figured where it was. We've seen where the Khalasar go and meet up, and that kind of stuff. We have not seen the Dosh Colleen, the House of the Dosh Colleen, or really interacted with any of them. So I think it's interesting. I kind of don't like the way they made it. I thought that Daenerys was going to go there, and then she was going to see that these women were like who are these all basically ex-queens, you know, really did come from other places, and she wasn't the only one that's like this legend, that she could really learn from them. However, they really seem kind of catty, and I don't think she's going to stay there very long. I thought the Dosh Colleen and her going back there, especially in the books, because she had a vision about her coming out of the lake that where the Dosh Colleen are. I thought that was going to be very, you know, I thought there was going to be a big point to her being there. As of from the next on, it just looks like Jorah and Daario are going to go and save her. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, what I see happening with that, or what I think should happen, is that once Daario and Jorah save her, she understands that all the Khalasars are at the mountain now. You know, the mother, the womb of the world to them. So they're in, you know, they're in Vaes Lothrak. You know, that's where all the Khalasars are. So, and they're really mounted warriors, and they really you know, esteem people who can ride mounts and that kind of thing. Well, what's a better mount than a dragon? I mean, I've said this. I think I've said this numerous times on a theory that that Daenerys is going to go back to the Dothraki, and because she's on a dragon, they're basically just going to be like, she's our queen. Let's follow her. That being said, now I think she's going to take it much more by force, because now I think that she knows that all the Khalasars are there. that means all the calls that took her people and left her to die after Drogo died are going to be there. And so all she needs is Drogon and to take out all the calls in one place, and then she leads literally the whole entire Dothraki people, basically. So I think that's what we're setting up for. That's how she's going to get her massive army, and then that's where basically Daenerys is just going to go around just pwn, 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 pwn. Basically what she's been doing now, but in a much more quicker succession without so much doubt to herself. Going from one girl character that I fucking love to another girl character that I fucking love, which is basically my favorite girl character in any story, Arya Stark. Um, this training scene is the montage that I feel like I've been waiting to see for the Faceless Men. That being said, I do not think Arya will have to leave the Faceless Men at all. I know that the prevalent theory is that she will have to leave and basically be a rogue assassin. However, I just realized how stupid I've been in missing this whole thing. Okay, so remember in the books they kind of flesh out how the Temple of Black and White and the Faceless Men got to be. It was because slaves in Valyria in the mines were just so sick of their existence, they were just in such pain that they literally prayed at night for their own death. Or, yeah. Well, at first they started praying for their own death. And so the first Faceless Men heard that prayer and, thinking that he was the hand of the god of death, gave the gift of death to the person that was praying for their own death. However, and that's what he kept doing. However, there was one slave that did not pray for his death, but actually for the death of his master, the overseer, who was just so bad and just terribly. And the slave prayed for it earnestly, would give up anything for this to happen. And so the Faceless Man heard that, and then that's when he decided to kill other people, and then bring the other guy into the fold. Okay, so basically, the Faceless Men are based on people who had gave earnest prayers about death, and people who are really wronged, people who are willing to give up everything. That being said, isn't that what Arya is exactly doing right now? Hasn't Arya been praying? Isn't she basically the embodiment of where the faceless men started? And they brought up her prayer, and they even asked her who else was on her little prayer. That I think is going to be a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? I think that in the Faceless Men, they might even esteem her as like a saint. They might esteem her as like a prophet, because Arya in so many ways embodies everything about them. She has revenge. She can be cold. She's destroyed herself, but at the same point in time, she earnestly prayed and took out honestly some of the people on her list. But if she earnestly has those prayers, then why shouldn't they honor the prayers of Arya Stark, even if she's no one? But as like I mean, I really think that the Faceless Men could see her earnest prayers and think, you know what, that this could be our prophet. This could be like a harbinger in some way. You know, that will lead the Faceless Men into like a new age, into something that is esteems the Lord of Death even more. That being, I don't know. I'm just feeling like I never realized that basically Arya's prayer has been exactly how the Faceless Men started. It was about someone praying that earnestly every night, and someone overheard, and just it kind of like the Grim Reaper overhearing. And that's what I love about the Faceless Men, is like basically they're just like the Grim Reaper. They're these entities that when you truly have a feeling of wanting to kill someone, or like being wronged, or wanting to die yourself, they just appear. And that's what I love about this, and that's why I really think that Arya kind of embodies everything about that. So that's what I'm saying, is like, I mean, all these Starks are in positions of just great ways of revenge. Rickon, basically, I mean, he's in Winterfell with a small army if the Umbers brought men, and his direwolf, because like I said, I think Shaggy is honestly in the crypts. Put money on it. Anyway, so yeah, that's just my recap on it. I really, really hope that next. And then sorry, I totally forgot to finish, because it's my favorite scene. I didn't even want to bring it up in the beginning. Tower of Joy. Bran. Wow. Don't I so glad we got to see it finally. But why did they have to change? Why did they have to fucking change the speech? I mean, and why was there only 2 Kingsguard? I mean, to make Arthur Dayne that much more powerful? That's the whole thing. It's like that's the only part that I really disliked. I love the Kingsguard armor that they had with the Targaryen emblem on it. Don't really understand why it was high silver and not white, because they were Kingsguard. That was supposed to be like, the big thing, but whatever. Super dope that we saw Arthur Dane, though. I mean, he was taking on like what 4 or 5 guys at once and literally killed all of them. Like he was amazing. Like it was so awesome to see that, and I thought Arthur Dane was really like a good, the guy that they picked. That yeah, that's what I thought. Arthur Dane. Dawn didn't really look like how I thought Dawn would, but none of the swords that are like Valerian or legendary have really looked at it. I thought like once Oathkeeper was not black and red, then I was just like fuck it. Like I don't even care about the swords anymore. But anyway, yeah, we finally seen the Tower of Joy. Obviously, something important. I mean, this was basically confirmation of any, I really don't want to spoil it for you guys, but for everyone that is a belief of R plus L equals J, I mean, this was basically fucking confirmation on it. Um, I mean, huge confirmation on it. So, yeah, really glad to see that. Really great to hear about, what's going on. I think that Bran will talk to Mira about what happened with the whole thing about Howland Reed and, Ned Stark and everything that happened. Um, Especially because he seemed very perturbed that Howland had stabbed Arthur Dane in the back. Which is, I mean, basically how it went down. I mean, Arthur Dane is fucking lethal, man. You saw the dude. It's like, how else are you going to kill him other than stabbing him in the back? But for Lord Eddard Stark to have let that happen and stuff, and to do that, I mean, yeah, it shows that, he definitely bent the honor at times. Anyway, you guys, like I said, closing out on this, I gave you guys kind of my theories about what's going to happen, so I'm not really going to go into it. It's already been 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much for coming back and all the subscribers. I'm really trying to do more videos. I really, really, really want to do a Winterfell video where I just like kind of like go in depth about Winterfell and everything that it's been shown in the series. So if that is cool, let me know. Like I said, guys, please like and share if this is something that you guys or want me to continue, or like I said, wanted me to do sweepstakes for pops, let me know. Until then, Valar Morghulis.